It's Royce. He's Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk. Royce Lewis is unchained now that he's Mr. Play Everywhere now. Second base again last night, but there seems to be some tension between him and the organization, Pat.
Yes, and I guess he was. I didn't watch much of it last night. By the time I found out they were playing, they were behind 8-0, and so I didn't see it. But according to Atterbury and Perky, he made two or three pretty good plays, or at least he made the plays last night when they hit the ball to him. And of course, the one thing I don't like it because I think you're putting him in an unfamiliar situation because that's a position that requires going to your right and then quickly turning to your left, but you don't get knocked down at second base anymore. So it's not like you're threatening his career like Rodney Carew or somebody like that because they can't take him out anymore. But yeah. I don't know. He's Judd and I were talking about this the other day. I guess not on the air, but he's not quite what we thought he was. He's not Mr. Team, and he's not he's a little he's a pretty good self-promoter, and when he's hitting 240, he's not slump-proof like he thought he was. So I'm sure he's still popular, but there were rumors that he was one of the more off-the-record, outspoken people that when they didn't do anything at the trade deadline too. So we'll see.
He's got an interesting case here, though, because the Twins do seem to try to treat every player the same.
Yes.
Like Royce, yes, there is, I think, a little bit of selfishness there at times, but if one of my future star players potentially says, don't move me to second right now, I'm much more likely, Pat, to listen to him than, let's say, if Castro said, yes, I want to play one position, damn it.
Yes. Well, and, this is something, if you're going to do it, you would think you might have him work on it over the winter and get used to it and right. Something like that. Here's the deal, though. They've never honestly said, we're putting you at second because you're thrown to third from third stinks. That's why you're unreliable as a thrower to first base when you're playing third, but they won't say that. But that's part of the reason, too. They don't like his erratic throwing from third base, but they can't admit that, right? They'd have to rip Ross, Royce, but I mean.
But yeah. It's a fact. Like we were looking this up with Plouffe on the Tuesday Twin Show. He has, if you look at like innings played at third versus throwing errors committed, it's by far the worst ratio of any third baseman in the league. So it's a fact. Like
yes, it is. He's and he's versatile. He can either throw it over their head or in the dirt. One of the two, both. It's not like I don't know. It's odd, isn't it? Because he played on that side of the infield his whole career, but I don't know what it is. It seems like if he contemplated, Declan, maybe I'm wrong here, but it seems like if he has a moment to contemplate it, that's when he's in trouble on that play. That when he just makes the quick throw, he generally has been okay. But when he has a thought, all of a sudden it's been very erratic. But that's part of the reason. And again, I say because, there would have been something, before the guy got taken out in the World Series and we had to change the whole game, right? When was that? 5-6 years ago? Did we, we had to play at second base and they took that out of the game basically. What was the play?
Well, that's like 8 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if that was World Series. That was a World Series. I thought it was like maybe NLCS or something.
It might have been playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Utley, right?
Was it who?
Chase Utley went into second base, and the Mets play. It was a Mets like shortstop.
Got
hurt,
and that has made second base a lot less dangerous of a position. But still, if a guy hasn't played it his whole career, and all of a sudden in August you say, we think we'll throw you over there, I don't blame him for not being happy.
So I think the dynamic that I'm most interested in is this is a franchise that like everything's very kumbaya usually, and if someone comes in and ruffles feathers, a Josh Donaldson or somebody,
Yeah.
And usually it's an outsider that comes in, and if he's not really a fit, then it's just they try to pull the plug as quickly as possible. And I wonder, it's very obvious that there is butting of heads. Royce is not thrilled with certain things. He's voiced it publicly. How does this work?
Carlos is in no hurry to come back this year
Yeah.
after rushing back last year.
How do they deal with this tension, I guess? Does it come to a head at some point? It feels like an awkward dance with, and you mentioned Correa, with maybe their two most important players.
Yes, I agree with you. And there is tension in the pitching genius department too, from what I hear, that that the attempt to manipulate everybody to throw nothing but breaking balls, and the fact that they throw more non-fastballs than any team in baseball, pretty much. And we got the geniuses coming down every day and telling everybody how they should pitch, and I think there's a little dissension there, from what I hear.
So there's some debate, and I've heard this from probably 4 different people now, that the Twins pitching analytics crew kind of believes that you don't really need to set hitters up. You can, for 100 years it was, go watch the Greg Maddux, documentary on MLB Network last week. That you throw certain pitches to set up breaking pitches and off-speed pitches, and that whether it's Twins and other people around the analytics department around baseball think that that's not true. Actually, you can pretty much throw like 9 consecutive sliders, and the hitter is going to react the same way as if you're throwing one. So there's like a philosophical disagreement between ball people and analytics people.
And it is interesting when you hear the myriad of Twins analysts talking about pitching on Morto, Perky, whoever it is. There's a lot of conversation about setting a Plouffe too, particularly about setting a, okay, we've thrown him 2 straight breaking balls. Time for the high fastball or 2, and I wouldn't say it's an old belief. It's maybe the wiser belief. I don't know, but the Twins are just breaking ball nuts, which certainly does not help Louis Varland, because he doesn't have a very good breaking ball. So I don't know. I think there's been dissension since Joe Pohlad told them they couldn't spend any money. That's what I think. I think that I think this year is, and they played. I've never been more surprised on how well a Twins team played than this one, from May 1st until August 17th, when Alcala blew that game and reality started to set in, and they're 5-11 since then. But I think there's been unhappiness since within the clubhouse, within the staff, and within and when you're on the field and you're one of the pitching coaches, and Mackey seems to be a low key guy, but when the geniuses tell you that they're smarter than you, the guys that never played, that's probably some dissension, don't you think? I don't know.
Do you think Correa comes back? I'm beginning to doubt he comes back.
We don't hear anything anymore.
No, I know. It's just it's very oddly quiet. And here's where I'm surprised. I'm surprised that a national writer, Rosenthal, Heyman, has not come in and said, okay, here's what is like this feels very odd, and it's almost being ignored. But if he's not coming back, your chance of doing anything in the playoffs, in my opinion, disappears. So,
well, if he comes back after not playing, you think when he comes back he's going to be the guy that we saw
you're right.
all season?
But that's what I'm saying is it's been so long now. So yeah you're right.
And it's everybody says, well, he wants to get back for the playoffs. Well, okay. If he gets back for the playoffs, he'll be 2 and done anyway. So what the hell difference does it make? Because he won't get a hit for the first week that he's back. So it's very interesting. And of course, we should have Scott Boris come to town and explain to us was about the the orthopedic industry again being completely screwed up and not knowing what the hell they were doing. So it's the middle of this summer, man. I couldn't say anything even suspicious about him as a competitor, and now I'm wondering. Now I'm wondering if he's just saying the hell with it. Now, I don't know, Declan, you probably heard this over there too. He supposedly, even though what he said, because he's a PR guy, was not critical of him, I don't think he couldn't have been too happy when they didn't do anything at the trade deadline either.
Probably not. I mean, you talk about Scott Boris coming over to defend all the orthopedic. I mean, he represents Royce too. He's got Royce is also a Scott Boris guy.
That's
so
right.
You can kill two birds with one stone basically with both those guys in his pocket.
And Royce, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is a lot closer to free agency than we think, because he's had what is he got 4 years of service time?
First year of pre-arb is this year, or first year of arb is this year. Arbitrations this year.
For a guy who's played 12 games, that's pretty good, that's pretty good. By the way, we have another phenom in St. Paul. Emmanuel Rodriguez showed up this week, right? Oh, we should talk about Buck.
Well, Buck got ejected last night.
Buck getting thrown out of the game.
A pitch clock dispute.
But this Emmanuel Rodriguez, he's this great phenom. He never plays either. He's played like 37 games this year. Last year he played 80. The year before he played 47. He's hurt all the time too. He missed this. He missed basically 4 months with a sore finger this year or some damn thing. He's another Iron Man that they got out of the way. This guy will,
Boy, if the Twins could get all their players to play, they might have a chance to win a World Series at some point.
Yes, they might if they could get him to play. Yeah, did you see the tape of Buck getting thrown out?
Yes.
A guy named Willie Trainer.
With those weird uniforms, too. It's
Yeah, he must have been embarrassed. But Willie Trainer was the ump. I looked him up. He's about 26. I don't think he's been one of the guys who gets to come to the big leagues and fill in.
26.
What's the hell's he throwing him out for? God. I mean, it wasn't.
Buck probably said thank you.
He wasn't. Yeah, well, no, he was supposed to play 9 innings and then be in Kansas City Friday. Now what are they going to do? Is he going to play again tonight?
Buck may have made an executive decision there.
No, he'll just fly to Kansas City. Now he's just got a shorter night.
I'm not wasting these innings. This is ridiculous.
These jerseys suck, and it's minor league baseball. See ya.
It didn't look like he told him he was an idiot or anything. He was just telling him you're wrong or something.
You John Boy.
Guy throw him out.
Yeah, John Boy needs to do a lip-reading breakdown. Yeah.
It was, but it was. I bet this guy's proud of himself today, though. When he's walking around saying, "I threw out."
Oh yeah.
Byron Buxton had never been thrown out of a major league game. Oh, I said that he'd never been thrown out of a game, and the first response I got was because he never played.
Do you think when umpires come home and when my wife asks how my day was, do you think he comes up and guess what? Kicks up his feet, pours himself a little cocktail. Well, let me tell you, honey, in the second inning tonight.
He called his girlfriend in Pocatello, Idaho, right after the game. I got to throw Byron Buxton out of the game. I'm going to the major leagues now.
Oh, God.
No. Hey, by the way, speaking of umpires, I'm very disappointed in my guy Ozzy. Because Ozzy, the other day, claimed the Bobby Cox line to Hunter Wendelstedt that he told him that he would make a good pimple on his old man's ass. That it wasn't Cox.
Love that line.
He stole that one. That was not you, Ozzy. That was Bobby Cox that did that. So, and well known that Bobby Cox did that. So, but he did say he almost punched Hunter once, didn't he, Judd? Didn't he have stuff like that?
Yeah.
Hey, they won last night though. Way to go, Whiteys! 8-1. 12.
What's their record now? How many losses do they have? Are they on pace to
32? They got to go 11-10 to avoid losing more in the games than the Mets. They got to go 11-10, and they are the first team since 1900 to have 3 losing streaks of 12 or more in a season. That's a long time.
Hey, breaking news. Byron Buxton experienced hip discomfort while on his rehab assignment. The Twins will continue to evaluate him over the next couple of days.
Problem solved, Pat. You see?
He knew it was happening. Yeah.
That's why he did it. He was pissed about his hip being sore, right?
All right. Last time he had a bad hip. He didn't play after August 1st.
You called it.
Goodbye. He's not playing again. Correa's not playing again. Go get him, boys. See if you can give away this playoff spot, which is going to be difficult.
They can't.
Yeah, they can. They can.
What are they,
They're
5?
5-11.
What are they, 5? Are they 5 clear of the Red Sox?
Yeah, but Seattle is up there, and Detroit might catch them. But they go 5-11 again. They can miss it. They put together 2 5-11.
How they're still in that spot is remarkable.
Kyle Farmer playing every day. He sucks. He hit a home run last night. It was an accident. He stinks. Why is he on your team? They got all these guys playing that are mutts. They're
Mutts.
Mutts. They got mutts out there. Look at that lineup the last couple of days. It's awful.
The Minnesota Mutts.
It's awful.
The merchandising would be awesome, Pat.
Yeah. By the way, they are. So we now have a 3-way tie for the last spot before the wild card. You got the Tigers, the Red Sox, and the Mariners are all 70 and 70. And so the Twins are 5.5 clear of that group right now. Can they blow 5.5 in the next month?
Yes. Are they still? They only have 22 left, though, right? 20. How many left? What's the record?
Something like
What's
that.
the record?
They're 75 and 64. If somebody can do math quickly.
So that's 23. They got 23 left then. So that's
well. The Rays also. The Rays are lurking 6 games back, game below
terrible.
500.
They're terrible. They're terrible. And but they're better than the Twins. But they're terrible. What a dump. What a dump they're playing there. They got Atterbury. I was listening to him yesterday. He says, before a crowd of dozens, he said last night.
Isn't it amazing too that geographically, in terms of beautiful ballparks, if you're near an ocean, San Francisco, you've got the Bay, Splash Landing, beautiful setting, right? Even like riverfronts, Pittsburgh. And somehow we take a beautiful Tampa Bay, St. Pete part of the country aesthetically, and we put him in that ridiculous stadium for 25.
It rains too much in the summer.
Does.
But they're putting one down by the. They're going to be a roof on the one they're putting to the little one, though.
Retractable?
Right? I hope so.
Or not.
We gotta be able to open that thing up.
I don't know.
And it's in the parking lot of the Trop, right?
No, I thought it was going to be down there, though, near the water. Is it the parking lot?
I think Provis was saying it's good. It's essentially going to be like in the parking lot of the Trop.
Boo! I thought
right by the Trop, which is built on an incline too. That's the damnedest thing I've ever seen.
It was my favorite spring training ballpark, Al Lang Field.
Oh, I went there.
Even though they had no roof to keep the sun away from you, so you could fry, but it was sitting there. Now you know what it is? A soccer stadium. They play soccer there. It's a tragedy. Anyway, it's.
Hey, give us. You know what? I'm gonna tease something for tomorrow. You have a Lions. Right. You have a Lions take for tomorrow.
I do. I'm at cross swords with my favorite football writer, Mark Craig from the Star Tribune. He has his picks in today, and he has the Lions winning the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay.
Look at that. Oh my God.
He's still got it, folks. The radio tease, Patrick Royce. Look at that. The ride with Royce.
All right. See ya.
All right, Pat. We'll see you tomorrow. It's Royce Unchained here, presented by Josh Arnold, SKOR North.
Protect those hips.
God.